Hello everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our business meeting. I'll call this meeting to order. This last year has been an interesting time for me. I'm not used to being up in front of a lot of people, especially ones as brilliant as you all are. My year started last February when the NVMA hosted a lunch with the senators where we discussed priority bills, mainly the PDMP bill. In April, I was one of 48 judges for the Proficiency Awards during the FFA convention in Lincoln. In May, I attended the award ceremony at the NCTA in Curtis, where 26 graduates received their veterinary technician's degree. The summer meeting in Columbus was successful with CE, fun day activities, and social events. In August, Dina and I attended the 2021 orientation at UNL, where the newly accepted veterinary students received their stethoscopes from the NVMA. Also that month, I went to Ames, Iowa, where I joined the Iowa AVMA President, Dr. Mitch Hiscox, in celebrating the accomplishments of the incoming freshman veterinary students in the white coat ceremony. Other activities like a riverboat cruise with fellow veterinarians, tailgate party at Haymarket Park, helping out at the birthing pavilion at the state fair. All of these events have given me the opportunity to meet and to get to know many NVMA members and other professionals. I want to thank Dina for her support, her advice, and instruction. And to my colleagues, thank you for your patience, your understanding, and your much needed encouragement. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. This past year has been an interesting year as far as the legislature is concerned. It has boiled down to about a half a dozen bills that had the greatest impact on veterinarians as a profession, and some of those that were introduced last year carried over to this year, and we're still dealing with those. And one of those in particular is LB 596, which is the bill to allow non-licensed equine massage therapy. And as you all know, that there's any of the ancillary therapies, those people have to be licensed at this time. And this bill was to originally intended to remove that requirement for those involved in massage therapy for horses. So we've done some negotiation with the introducer of the bill and have been able to get some amendments made to that. The first amendment was to remove the word therapy or therapeutic from the bill, or from the definition for equine massage. The senator who introduced this bill is Senator Groening, and he agreed to allow some grandfathering in of these massage persons, equine massage persons, for people that are already doing this, and with the stipulation that there has to be 2 veterinarians sign off on the capability of this individual. And so that will be grandfathered for 4 years, and after 4 years' time, we won't be able to, or people won't be able to be registered as a equine massage person after that period of time. So after then, they will still have to go through some training, some official training. The next bill was LB 237, part of the state budget from the governor, and part of that budget, or reduction was some specific verbiage to reduce the number of veterinarians in the state veterinarian's office, and so we testified in a hearing on that bill, and we're able to change that verbiage so that the Department of Agriculture would still have to absorb those cuts, but it didn't specify, or wasn't explicit on where those cuts had to be made. So I don't know if we really helped things or not, but hopefully we did. The next bill is the one that imposed sales tax on a number, which would impose sales taxes on a number of services, and that's come back again this year. And Dr. Cockrell and one of our lobbyists, Katie Zolkowski, spent quite a bit of time at the hearing, and that hearing went till about 11:30 or so the night that occurred. So again, that bill's carried over this year, and we have to keep working on that bill. There was a bill, LB 88, which would allow for temporary licensure of spouses of military personnel, and that bill was passed into law, and we had supported that bill. Excuse me. And then the last bill, LB 233, which is a cleanup bill for the PDMP, prescription drug monitoring program. That bill, we probably invested the most amount of time in that, and that cleanup bill, what that did was delayed the time when veterinarians had to start reporting till July of 2018. Also, that bill addressed some issues as far as what information veterinarians had to actually provide when they would register a prescription into the program. And we need to give Dr. Joy Gaines a great deal of credit for her stepping up to help working with Nebraska, state of Nebraska, the Health Information Initiative in setting up the software and getting the software companies to work with the state, with NEHI, which is the Nebraska Health Information Initiative, and getting software compatible, veterinary software compatible to work with that program. So those are the things that we've been working on last year, and so this year again, there's carryover bills, and then there's a few new bills that we will be dealing with, and most of that has to do with sales tax and implications that go with that. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me and we can discuss them. So thanks. Oh, one other thing too, I think next year too, there's some issues with rabies rules and regulations, and we're going to be looking at some of the statutes that go along with new rate changes in rabies, how veterinarians deal with those animals. So look forward to that.
For our AVMA activities, Dr. John Howe come forward. He's the AVMA District VII representative.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, honored guests, and friends, I'm here this year as my last year on the Board of Directors to address you and give you highlights and recent developments of what's going on at AVMA. It seems like 6 years went by in a blink, but in that time I've had the great opportunity to get to know a lot of you and become friends with so many of you, and I've always appreciated the warmness that I receive when I come here and the hospitality. My wife couldn't make it this year, but we've always enjoyed coming here. So let me give you some developments and things that are going on. One exciting news item is that at the end of 2017, AVMA is now over 91,100 members. And that's a great accomplishment. We're up over the years before, and I want to thank you as an AVMA member because making this success possible, because there is truly strength in numbers. And when we have that many numbers, when we go to Congress, which we frequently do, that means something if we have that many numbers, that many members. So it means a lot to those congressmen and senators. Our strategic focus this year covers a lot of areas. I'll just mention one in particular. We are committed to enhancing professional development lifelong learning. So our members can enjoy a rewarding and profitable career. We are focused on providing resources that advance the scientific acuity and education of veterinarians. And this year we commit to ourselves to forming new partnerships to expand our support for the profession and to provide relevant, practical, and fun education and resources. The Model Veterinary Practice Act, which you know is the model for a lot of states, is open for comment. And I think it's open till March 25th, if I recall. So if you have suggestions you want to make to that, you can make comments directly on AVMA. You can go on the website and there's a spot to comment on policies. Telehealth, as you know, is a huge topic, and AVMA is the leader in the policy. We developed the policy, which the board recommended, the House approved, so we have a fairly strong policy on that. And we are leading the charge to address the issue of telehealth so that our members are well supported and primed for success when delivering veterinary telehealth services to their patients and clients. Exhibit A is the recently launched AVMA Telehealth Resource Center, and it's on avma.org/telehealth. And that was unveiled at the VLC this past month. It offers basic information about telehealth. It has answers to frequently asked questions about all aspects of veterinary telehealth. I could talk on this subject there's so many things that this subject covers. A lot of us use telemedicine, telehealth right now with, reading x-rays, sending them out, ultrasounds, that type of thing. But there are people that are in it to make money and kind of not use the valid client-patient relationship. And that's something that AVMA has been very strong on, is that we maintain a valid VCPR. Because I do not want my clients calling up some behaviorist in California and saying, can I show you a video clip of my dog and then can you prescribe whatever drug to use? I think we need to have hands-on VCPR for this. Marijuana therapies. How many of you had toxicosis in dogs or pets? A few, yes. I did too back in the 70s. So the dog came into my practice absolutely comatose. And every test I could run, everything I could find, nothing made sense. And I finally asked this couple, is there anything else that you could tell me that this dog might have got into, some prescription medications, And she said, if we tell you, you won't have us arrested, will you? I said, no, of course not. And the dog ate a whole pan of marijuana brownies. And 2.5 days on a respirator, the dog did finally come around, but that was... So people are seeing a lot of that, especially in the states now that have marijuana for medicinal purposes and recreational use. And since it's such a big issue, you need a working knowledge of marijuana and status in veterinary medicine. It's still legal for veterinarians to prescribe, use, or recommend. But the AVMA recently published a report on our website called Cannabis, What Veterinarians Need to Know. So there's a lot of things on our website that a lot of people don't realize and that you have great access to. The AVMA is now providing association management for VMAE, that's Veterinary Medical Association of Executives. And I think that's a perfect collaboration for promoting and advancing veterinary medicine, because we all know that state and allied professions contribute tremendous depth of perspective and understanding of the issues facing our profession. So that's a great synergism. The board approved our budget, our 2018 budget, which is about $38 million, which is a large budget. And it calls for that $38 million in spending primarily allocated to support ongoing programs, volunteer entities, activities that benefit members. It represents a real connection between what members want and need and the board's strategic objectives. NAVTA, the National Association of Veterinary Technicians of America, they had a veterinary nurse initiative. And at the November meeting, the board of directors approved support goals of a recent initiative undertaken by them. And those goals are establish a standard credential and title for veterinary technicians, identify standard requirements for veterinary technicians, standardize the scope of practice for veterinary technicians, and unite the veterinary profession to increase its quality and value to patients and the community. The one thing we did not do, however, was we did not take a position on the use and title of veterinary nurse. Some states, it's just not going to work. Some states, it's such a mishmash in all the states, whether they're licensed or accredited or certified. I mean, there's so many things. And it'd be nice if they could get one unified thing throughout all the states. It's going to be difficult, but that's their initiative. We're constantly looking at tax reform, and with the new tax bill coming in, that's going to greatly affect all of us. And some things I think are going to be great, but in about a month from now, after it's been reviewed by a lot of our staff, we'll have maybe some recommendations on things to help improve in certain areas and things to watch for. Compounding is always an issue, and the FDA is going to be releasing new guidance for 2018, and of course that will be carefully reviewed by AVMA and looking at the new language. And we work closely with FDA to try to ensure that it addresses the needs of our veterinary patients. I want to remind you the convention this year is in Denver, and the dates are July 13 to 17. Registration will open in February. So hundreds of CE sessions and great labs, new industry experts. I think AVMA conventions are the best. They cover so many things. We've been faulted for not having as much large animal as some people think we should. And that's constantly improving and getting better. So for all of you large animal vets, I know it's easy to just go to AEPP or AASV or AAEP, but it's still important to go to AVMA and make your voice heard. And the more people that go, the bigger it'll get. So I really encourage you to do that. Advocacy on the webpage. We have a lot. If you want to know more about our ongoing work on state policy and federal policy issues, visit our advocacy page. It's avma.org/advocacy. That's an important thing you can check on and follow up. We're always looking at the federal laws, the new laws, things that affect veterinarians and students and businesses. And we've launched a new and improved AVMA Congressional Advocacy Network website. It's called avmacan.avma.org. So if you haven't, a lot of these newsletters, you can sign up. It's an opt-in. You just have to go back on your homepage as a member and opt in for all the things you want to receive. It's always been, for a long time, opt-in. Years ago, it was opt-out. You got everything. People complained, I don't want all this. But check it out and see what you'd like to get. It's got greatly improved navigation and usability to make it easier for you to identify key legislative issues affecting veterinary medicine and quickly respond. And you can send letters to your members of Congress and find their information, their contact information. The big thing for you in a lot of states is opioids and prescription monitoring programs. And I know you got drug into it, and what does it start in July for all of you? Yeah, Minnesota, we were lucky, and we had a good relationship at that time with our state board of pharmacy, and they excluded us. So Minnesota, we do not have prescription monitoring for opioids. I'm not sure what's going to happen because we have our director of the state licensing board feels differently and has a strong feeling that veterinarians things are getting easily taken from veterinarians that we might not be recognizing, wrongful things. But here's what AVMA is doing. So in an effort to help better understand that issue and educate our members and others, the House of Delegates recommended that AVMA develop model language related to information on how to positively react with state boards of pharmacy, recommendations for reporting that are practical, reasonable, and realistic, development of appropriate reporting software. There's no really good software, reporting software out there for veterinarians right now. Methods of permanent identification of animals, because your client can come to you with Butch and tell you that NSAIDs don't work and he does much better on tramadol, and then they can go down to your neighboring practice and say, yeah, you know, this is Bart, he just doesn't do well on this, and tramadol works great. So if there's no way to permanently identify that animal, they could just go from clinic to clinic to clinic. So that's one thing that we have to be cautious of. Veterinarians' responsibility in monitoring and continuing education for veterinarians, such as best prescribing practices and identifying diversion and abuse. Well, there are a million things on and on that I could talk to you about, but I'm not going to take all your time. We have issues of student debt, well-being, accreditation standards, all of those. So if you go on the website, you can find those. If you want to come and talk to myself or Dr. DeYoung, our president-elect of AVMA, who we're very fortunate to have here, please come and see us. As I said, this is my last year as a director and coming to address you. And however, after years on councils and committees and 6 years on the board of directors and 41 years of mixed animal practice, I'm not ready to give up, and I still feel I have a lot to offer the AVMA. And so with that in mind, I'm running for president-elect of the AVMA. And the election is in Denver this July. So I would really welcome to see, it'd be nice to see some faces out there that I know. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I hope to return as an officer and see all of you again. Anyway, many thanks for all the years.